everyone. Today we are going to learn internal organization analysis based on resource-based model. First, we take a look at why analyzing internal organization is important and define core components in the internal analysis such as value creation, resources, capabilities, and core competencies. Then we learn 4 criteria used to determine whether a firm's resources and capabilities are core competencies and so thus competitive advantages. Then we try to understand value chain analysis for determining where firms can create value when using their resources, capabilities, and core competencies. For remaining part, we will think about outsourcing as a part of value chain activities and its reasons, and emphasize the importance of internal strengths and weaknesses and avoiding core rigidities. Now we begin with opening case. Please consider the questions in Chapter 3 case discussion form and discuss the basic idea about the value of resources and the importance of the resources. As we learned from previous chapter, by studying the external environment, firms identify what they might choose to do, which is a function of opportunities and threats. Moreover, in this chapter, by studying the internal organizational analysis, that is, understanding unique resources, capabilities, and competencies, firms identify what they can do, which is more related to the availability and ability issues. And in order to understand the contemporary internal analysis, we should recognize the conditions that are close to the reality in which the context of internal analysis is now already related to global economy and global mindset with heterogeneous resources and capabilities. In other words, domestic-based traditional sources of advantages can be overcome by competitors' international strategies that are based on the assumptions of performing in multiple countries and cultures and contexts with a bundle of unique resources and capabilities. So the components of an internal analysis include based on this figure that we will go over from now on. Now, let's start with understanding value creation and its importance. Many successful firms exploit their core competencies or competitive advantages that are based on their resources and capabilities so that firms create value. We will learn these terms in more detail in later slides. The value is measured by a firm's product performance characteristics, whether they pursue cost advantage or differently produced from other competitors. Also measured by how much customers will pay based on more innovative or more upgraded products. This superior value makes the firms obtain above average returns, which is the goal of most firms. By the way, if you have any questions while you are watching this lecture video or reading slides or textbook chapters, please contact me anytime. I'll be staying in touch with you to move forward. Now we move one step further. Resources are the sources what a firm can use. These may not necessarily be direct source of competitive advantage, but these can be a source of firm's capabilities. Resources are broad in scope, covering a spectrum of individual, social, and organizational phenomena. As resources are categorized in a firm's assets, there are 2 types of resources. These are tangible resources such as financial, organizational, physical, and technological resources, and intangible resources such as human resources, innovation, and reputational resources. Please look at the following chart in next 2 slides. The charts show the basic definition of resources that mostly represent inputs to the product process. While you understand these resources, you may also think about some examples of resources to clarify as well. Next, we think about capabilities and discuss their development. Capabilities are much more important element because these are direct sources of core competence that is essential to a firm's success. Capabilities represent the capacity to allocate their resources over time through complex interactions among intangible and intangible resources and through developing and exchanging information and knowledge by mainly the firm's human capital. Practically, capabilities are used to complete the organizational task for the purpose of creating value for them in general and individual functional units in the value chain activities in more particular. For example, firms develop their capabilities in some functional area like manufacturing, R&D, and marketing, or even in part of functional areas such as advertising or social media customer engagement. Please look at the chart for a while and understand firms' capabilities by some examples such that which firms have developed which capabilities in which functional area. You may extend and think about more examples in more companies that you know. Not all resources and all capabilities become core competencies. There are 4 criteria to determine strategic capabilities. Capabilities that are valuable and rare, costly to imitate by other competitors, and non-substitutable resources and capabilities become their core competencies. As similar aspect of the capabilities, core competencies can be developed through the continuing and accumulating learning process with those capabilities over time. So, core competencies exist when the activities that a firm performs especially well compared to their competitors, and the firm adds unique value to its goods and services over a long time period. Think about for a while. Which examples can explain the relationship among resources, capabilities, and core competencies? I would like to provide a good example to explain the question. What could be Apple's core competencies? Yes, innovation can be one of its core competencies. How about then Apple's capabilities based on its core competencies, which is innovation? R&D activities should be its capability. So to obtain this capability, Apple combine its intangible resources, tangible resources such as financial and research resources, and intangible resources such as scientists and engineers' knowledge, etc. By emphasizing its capability, Apple create unique value for customers with the products such as iPhone series and iWatch, suggesting that innovation is a core competence for Apple. And excellent customer service in retail stores is another core competence of Apple. So we may consequently think about its capabilities and resources when you have extra time. Now, let's analyze and discuss another case.